Eye-opening and amazing are just a few of the words the 2014 See for Yourself class used to describe their experience learning about the checkoff. Each year, the Soy Checkoff selects 10 soybean farmers from around the country to see and evaluate the work of the checkoff firsthand in the U.S. and abroad. This year's class of participants consisted of men and women from diverse backgrounds and farming operations, but they all had one thing in common: the desire to learn more about how their checkoff dollars are being invested. Accompanied by USB farmer leaders and staff, the participants set out on a 9-day journey beginning in St. Louis, the headquarters of the Soy Checkoff. The first stop on the tour was a barge loading facility on the Mississippi River. Here, participants heard about the importance of reliable locks and dams to the success of the soybean industry and the role USB plays in educating transportation stakeholders about needed improvements.
I had never seen a barge loaded before. I didn't know where they loaded, how they loaded it, or anything, and I did not realize it actually got loaded onto an ocean liner to get shipped. I had no idea.
The group then had lunch with Kevin Bradley, a Checkoff-funded researcher. They learned about USB's Take Action initiative and how the Checkoff is working with land-grant universities to educate farmers about managing herbicide-resistant weeds.
We have herbicide-resistant pigweed, which has been a big problem for years for us. And I had no idea that our checkoff dollars in soybeans were going towards fighting that problem.
The afternoon began with a visit to Monsanto to learn about high oleic soybeans and why the checkoff is partnering with DuPont, Pioneer, and Monsanto to expand high oleic varieties more quickly.
I think that the high oleics are definitely an area with great market potential in the future. Not only for the farmer to increase by getting premiums on those beans, but also for the processors to, hopefully we can convert them back away from the canola and palm oil and get them back onto U.S. soy oil, which will increase the demand for soy domestically and internationally.
The St. Louis portion of the program ended with a visit to Lambert St. Louis International Airport to hear why it uses B20 biodiesel in nearly all of its fleet vehicles. After the first day of tours, participants were surprised at just how far their checkoff dollars reached to increase demand for soybeans and increase farmers' return on investment.
So I feel like the checkoff dollars are used very wisely. I feel like for every dollar that we spend, the $5.20 that we get back, I think that goes a long way, and this week gives us a chance to see that firsthand.
With reliable barge transportation so crucial to soy exports, the group traveled to Panama to see the Panama Canal in action. They learned that for every $100,000 a company spends on their toll to go through the canal, it provides $1 million in savings. With the canal expansion scheduled to be completed in late 2015, U.S. soybeans will be able to move through the canal more quickly to customers around the world.
The Panama Canal, big tour for me. Actually seeing the grain being transported on the water really made it concrete for me. Before it just been an idea, I knew it was a big port internationally, but I didn't know how big of an impact it had on soybean demand.
The Panama Canal was absolutely fascinating to tour. Just seeing the existence of the Panama Canal, but then also seeing the expansion that's soon to be open, and what an advantage that's going to be for U.S. soy.
After visiting the canal, the group traveled to Ecuador, the 6th largest importer of U.S. soybean meal. In 2013, soybean meal exports to Ecuador totaled $184 million, which is the leading imported agriculture product.
Throughout our trip, we got to learn about many different areas. We got to learn about transportation, we got to learn about animal agriculture, and the thing that I found the most interesting and the most beneficial for the soybean farmer was that in Ecuador, the United States has 85% of the soybean meal market.
Aquaculture is big business in Ecuador. It is the 2nd largest producer of cultivated shrimp in the world, exporting $790 million to the U.S. in 2013. During visits to a shrimp farm and its feed supplier in Guayaquil, participants heard how the use of soybean meal in place of fish meal increases the sustainability of shrimp farm operations.
My favorite thing was learning about the aquaculture in Ecuador. I had no idea how important that is to U.S. to U.S. agriculture, soy in particular, and the meal, and how impressed the buyers are with the quality of U.S. soy.
Before the group departed for Quito, they made a stop at the port of Guayaquil, the largest dry bulk port in Ecuador. Here, they toured warehouses full of soybean meal, seeing another step of the transportation of their products to the customer. Throughout the program, participants met a variety of U.S. soy customers and repeatedly heard why those customers prefer U.S. soy. At Anheuser, one of the largest poultry and egg farms in Ecuador, the owner told participants they find better nutrient values in U.S. soybean meal, making it their top choice for animal feed.
I was aware the checkoff was in multiple markets throughout the whole world, but I wasn't aware that we had such a presence in South America, and it was a real eye-opener to see how much Ecuador and other countries within South America are importing from the U.S.
The final tour of the 2014 See for Yourself program took the group to Pronaca, the largest animal integrator in Ecuador. The company processes 1,000 hogs a day and 800,000 turkeys a year. Pronaca is also one of the largest feed manufacturers in Ecuador, owning 33% of the market share. Its large operation uses 25% of Ecuador's soybean meal imports.
I thought the See for Yourself program was beneficial to me as it helped me gain an understanding of where my soybeans go to and the avenues that it takes to get to foreign countries.
And the See for Yourself program really provided an opportunity for young farmers like myself to just see what USB does globally.
Many participants told USB farmer leaders they were impressed with what they learned throughout the week and that their opinion of the checkoff changed since participating in the program.
My view of the checkoff has changed dramatically in the last week, just because I didn't know we had so many people working in so many places. It's impressive to see all the support that we're giving our customers throughout the world.
My impression of the checkoff has definitely changed. When I started, I really didn't know that much about it. I just knew that I take soybeans in to market, and when I do, I give the checkoff a portion of my income. So I was a little bit skeptical on how it's used. I really wanted to see the fruits of my labor, so to speak.
All participants said they would encourage farmers back home to apply for the program next year.
I would recommend anybody to sign up, and if you get the chance to go, you need to go. Because if you're like me, from where I come from, it's not a big farming area. You're kind of limited in your knowledge about what goes on. Sign up, go, it's amazing.
At the end of the 9-day program, the inspired participants said that See for Yourself might not be their last encounter with the checkoff. Rather, they hope to one day offer their leadership capabilities to the checkoff and other organizations.
As an American farmer, there's a lot of people that are looking for your time and money and efforts. But there are also a lot of organizations that deserve your time and money and efforts. And the See for Yourself program helped me see ways that I could be used with my talents on a board like the USB. I've talked to and spent time with members of the USB board that I never knew before, and I was able to ask them what they do and why they do it, and it really sparked an interest in me to get involved in some aspect in farming back home.